What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new episode of the weirdest videos from all over the internet. Without further ado, let's get to the video. Hope you enjoy it.
The results of Michael Jackson's autopsy report were nothing short of disturbing. He was largely bald with only sparse hair remaining, the result of burns and repeated cosmetic procedures as he'd been wearing a wig in public for years. His scalp also showed scarring consistent with past injuries. He had multiple cosmetic tattoos, including permanent eyeliner and lip liner, likely done to maintain his appearance without daily makeup. His skin also showed signs of vitiligo alongside extensive cosmetic alteration. His arms were marked with numerous puncture wounds consistent with frequent injections over time. Toxicology findings showed multiple drugs in his system and partially dissolved pills in his stomach indicating recent ingestion. The cause of death was ruled acute propofol intoxication, a powerful surgical anesthetic. In the final months of his life, Michael was given propofol regularly inside his home to induce sleep, essentially relying on anesthesia instead of natural slumber. His personal physician, Conrad Murray, was later convicted of involuntary manslaughter for administering the drug outside of proper medical care.
To be honest, I don't really want to get into this deeply right now because first thing first, the options and the speculations are basically infinite. But all I'm gonna say is that everything about Michael's life is very sad and unfortunate. I personally love Michael Jackson and I personally love Michael Jackson very much, and not just like as a fan, oh my god, music, like who he was as an individual. Like I relate, I feel like we're very similar. I'm not saying I'm Michael Jackson, but you know, I look up to him, but not in a fan way, you know. Put the music to the side. But I don't want to get into this and say too much right now because the options and the speculations are infinite. It will never end. But all I'm gonna say is that everything about Michael Jackson's life was very sad and unfortunate. So let me know how you feel personally. You don't have to agree with me. It's okay. We all have different. You're entitled to have your own opinion, is what I'm trying to say. Excuse my stuttering. Anyways, on to the next clip.
Facts about the ocean that are scarier than any horror movie. First up, I bet you didn't know that you can literally melt in the ocean. Because in the deep sea, there's something called hydrothermal vents that can reach up to 750 degrees Fahrenheit, which will allegedly cause your body to melt. But by then, you probably wouldn't even notice because all your bones would have likely been crushed by the pressure. The next fact is honestly even scarier to think about. You know how we have so many scary stories about sea creatures, like sirens, the Loch Ness Monster, or giant squids? Well, a lot of the creatures that used to be just a story are slowly being discovered as real. For example, the giant squid, which scientists found were not only real and over 59 feet in length, but are also cannibals. If that's not bad enough, here's more. Because the ocean is basically a giant graveyard. In 2014, researchers diving into an underwater cave in Mexico found the remains of a girl estimated to be 13,000 years old, meaning there's a high likelihood that if you go missing or drown that you would probably never be found. There's also 10 million viruses in every drop of seawater, meaning viruses in the ocean outnumber all of the stars in the Milky Way. The actual number is estimated to be 1 nonillion, which is a number I've never heard before, but here it is written out. That itself makes me never want to go swimming in the ocean again. Follow for more.
Toys that got banned around the world. The Faux-Pas doll had a hidden metal rod inside its head for support, but people thought it looked like a knife. Pregnant Barbie sparked controversy for encouraging teen pregnancy themes. The evil stick toy was rumored to show a demonic girl image hidden in the design. Diamonstas had a creepy hidden message that sounded like "turn off the TV." The Potty Time with Elmo toy was recalled after it allegedly said "Who wants to die?" The Cuddle and Kudal was also pulled after reports of it saying Islam is the light. Cabbage Patch Kids machines were dangerous, with motorized jaws that could trap hair or fingers. Lawn darts were banned after causing serious injuries and even death.
Let's be honest here. I wouldn't call these things toys. Toys are pieces of plastic that children play with, you know? that are usually safe and non-sinister. When it comes to these things, like I said, we're not going to call them toys. I would personally call them weapons of mass destruction, you know? These aren't toys, to me personally, in my opinion. I mean, why would they insert or implant a sharp piece of metal inside the neck of a doll designed for little kids? What are the kids gonna play with? I mean, what was the toy intended for? A game called Stabby Stabby between the little toddlers? Hey guys, want to stab each other with the doll's neck? I know I may be weird by I know that I'm weird the way I formulate my words and voice my opinion, but you know what's weirder than me and the way that I speak? These things they call toys. Man, I'm getting nauseous just looking at these things on my screen. Anyways, on to the next one.
People who gained real-life superpowers after an accident, part 2. At 10 years old, Orlando Sorrell was hit by a baseball on the left side of his head really hard. After the accident, his only side effect was headaches, but when they went away, his memory became superhuman. He could remember literally everything on any given day after his accident, like the weather, what he wore, what he ate, what he did, and much more. Khan Trikan from Thailand was cooking fried chicken one day when he was accidentally splashed by oil from head to toe. But when this happened, he discovered he had a superpower. He had no burns or anything on his skin. And he now fries chicken and plunges his hands into boiling fat at his restaurant without any pain or signs of burns. 12-year-old Nikolai was walking home from school when he was electrocuted by a faulty wire but made it home safely. The next day while eating breakfast, he dropped his spoon and it stuck to his body. He then noticed he could stick many different objects to his body and is now nicknamed the Magnetic Boy.
He performed.
Little man's walking around with a pen stuck on his chest. Look at him feeling himself. I mean, he's flexing on all of us. I mean, it's kind of special, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little jealous. I mean, I wish I could stick pens on my chest. You know what I mean? It would probably help me seduce a woman. But I'll never be like this guy because he's the man, I guess. I'm kind of jealous, not gonna lie. Anyways.
He performed plastic surgery on himself after murdering his teacher. In 2006, 22-year-old British teacher Lindsay Hawker moved to Tokyo to teach English at Chiba University. A year later, 28-year-old student Tatsuya Ichihashi asked Lindsay if he could receive private lessons from her. Lindsay agreed and they met at a coffee shop a few days later for their first session. At the end of the session, Tatsuya told Lindsay he forgot his money at home and asked her to go back to his place to pick it up and pay her. So that's exactly what they did, and unfortunately, Lindsay never made it out of Tatsuya's apartment. Lindsay was reported missing the next day, so police went to Tatsuya's apartment and saw him escape by foot. When police entered Tatsuya's balcony, they found Lindsay's deceased body in a bath full of sand. Tatsuya then went into hiding for 2 years and a half, and he went to extreme measures to avoid authorities, such as physically changing his appearance himself. This included cutting off the moles from his face with a knife, trimming his lips to make them thinner, and reshaping his nose. All these changes allowed Tatsuya to be undetected for years, but his attempt to alter his appearance even more led to his arrest when a cosmetic doctor became suspicious about his scars and reported him to police. At Tatsuya's trial, he confessed to everything and was sentenced to life in prison.
That's actually very sad, to be honest. Like, I really feel some type of way about this. She looks like so joyful and beautiful, and he's just the complete opposite. Let me tell you that much. The complete opposite of her. She looks like a sweet, joyful, she was, unfortunately, a sweet, joyful, beautiful young lady, and he's a parasite. I really don't want to say how I truly feel about him, you know? Hopefully he's under the jail for eternity. And RIP to the lady. We love you.
You should run in the opposite direction to get them to chase you instead. Dogs don't understand the concept of a mistake. So if you ever accidentally like step on their paw, they just think you did it on purpose. Hello. If your dog ever initiates contact with you by like resting their head on you, placing their paw on you, bumping into you, it's a sign that they love you and they're happy. And I really do think more dog owners should read up about dog body language, because like yawning doesn't mean they're tired. It's an anxiety sign. Same thing if you like start petting them and they lick their lips. They don't want to be pet. Or if they shake, they're stressed out. When dogs start going deaf, they don't understand that they can't hear anymore. They just think you stopped talking to them.
Like, stop telling us about the dogs and just tell me about yourself, woman. Because I'm into you, you know, not the dogs. I don't care about the dogs. I mean, I'm a dog person, but she said the dogs lick their lips. Where I'm licking my lips right now, looking at her.
Explain things caught on camera that will make you question literally everything. This reporter was live on the air when this happened. I slowed this way down so you could see it, but her eyes are going to shift into a completely different kind of shape and form. What the heck is this? Follow for more.
You're just casually hanging out with the rarest chicken in the world? Let me explain. Meet the Ayam Cemani chicken. They've also been called the Lamborghini of chickens. This is the most expensive chicken money could buy. And it's not because it's faster or stronger than the average chicken, which is true, or because it tastes better, which apparently is also true. It's because they're jet black due to a condition called fibromelanosis. But what's crazy about this is it's not just what you see on the outside. Their feathers are black, their skin is black, their eyes, their tongue, even their organs and their bones are black. Talk about a custom paint job. The only thing that's not black is their blood and their eggs. But the embryo inside the egg is purple. I'm just kidding. It's black. Because of this, a lot of cultures around the world believe that these chickens have mystical powers. In other words, you might want to like this video. It's as close as you're going to get to one of these guys. And as always, follow for more facts.
Did my mans really just look at us and say, the feathers are black? I mean, buddy, we know this already. They have to be black for the chicken to be black, you know? The chicken's not going to be black if the feathers are orange. Everything about the chicken is black except its blood and the eggs. We kind of already knew this already. We don't need to be scientists. And what's the point of praising the chicken and saying all these mesmerizing facts about it if you're just going to end up cooking it like you did when you showed us the remains in the pan? I mean, it's going to get cooked like the regular chicken. So what's the point of doing all of this? Now, if you would basically preserve it and label it as something majestic and special like a unicorn and basically breed them and let them be on a farm or something, then it would make sense. But for you to do all this to just end up cooking it, I mean, it's kind of pointless. And anyway,
imagine being held captive for more than 20 years, then while you sit there and realize that no one is coming to save you, you set the house on fire and you're finally free. That's exactly what happened to now a 32-year-old man who was held captive in his room since the age 11. When he was found by police, he was extremely malnourished, weighing only 68 pounds, which is insane for a 32-year-old. It was said that at one point he attended school like a normal kid, but then he was pulled out and he was homeschooled, but eventually he just never left the house again. So on February 17th at approximately 8:42 p.m., 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan called police and said that her house was on fire. When police arrived, they found a 32-year-old man in horrible living conditions, and he told police that he intentionally set his bedroom on fire because he's been held captive since he was 11 and wanted to be free. He then said that his father, who died a year ago, let him out of the room for longer periods of time, but after his death, it was just him and his stepmother, Kimberly Sullivan. He told police that DSF visited the home when he was a child after people were concerned over his weight and that he was stealing food and eating things out of the garbage. garbage. But at the time when DSF spoke to him, he said that he was forced to say that everything was fine because his stepmom and father threatened to not feed him. Kimberly was arrested, but she pleaded not guilty, and her defense as of right now is that she has nothing to do with this and it was all her husband who passed away. Now, the worst part, which really pissed me off, is that this woman was released on bail. She's wearing an ankle monitor, but she's out. She's walking free. After
A time traveler may have infiltrated the White House. This one's gonna get you, trust me. A random X account created in December 2023 has just one single tweet ever posted that very same month. That tweet being just the name Cole Allen. The exact name of the suspected White House shooter that was apprehended during the Correspondents' Dinner in the Washington Hilton on April 25th, 2026. And that's not even the crazy part. This is where it gets absolutely wild. Because the name of the account that posted this is Henry Martinez, an engineer who worked at Lockheed Martin developing the Orion spacecraft, so he was dealing with some highly classified super high-tech stuff on a regular basis. Cole Allen, the suspected shooter, actually interned at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in 2014, the same year in which NASA published a research paper out of Goddard Space Flight Center in which Lockheed Martin's Henry Martinez was the primary author of. He co-authored this paper for NASA the same year that Cole Allen worked at NASA, and then 9 years later he randomly tweets his name with no context. Now, Henry Martinez's X account also has this cryptic banner on top that comes from a website called, get ready for this, Time Machine. And the image is said to hold a striking resemblance to a certain event that happened in 2024. Yeah, that. Everyone online is going crazy about this, some even claiming they can't unsee it. The original image was created in 2021, and that Butler, Pennsylvania attempt happened 3 years later in 2024. Now, a year earlier in 2023, that same image was used as a cover photo by an artist named Chocolate for a song called Four Chargers. 4, like the number of people in the photo it supposedly represents. Henry Martinez hasn't made any other posts since, and in fact hasn't even been heard of since, leading many to believe that he's another one of those missing scientists, and don't worry, I'll be talking about that very soon. His profile pic is internet meme Pepe the Frog, wearing a tux and drinking wine from a glass, and well, yeah, okay, that one's kind of reaching. But it is rather odd that world-famous mentalist Oz Perlman was performing some sort of magic trick to Trump and Melania just seconds before the shots were fired. And a day before the incident, there was allegedly a spike in search terms for the full name of the suspect, Cole Thomas Allen, coming out of Iran, which Google has since scrubbed and removed. For argument's sake, let's just say these are fake. Now, the theory is that Henry Martinez was working on classified projects at Lockheed involving UAP propulsion and, well, time travel, which is why he disappeared just shortly after tweeting the name of the shooter back in 2023, dropping us a little hint of this incident that was going to happen 3 years later. But what do you think? Why is it that every bit of news that drops these days always seems to have some sort of theory that kind of feels, I don't know, somewhat plausible?
These conjoined brothers who are attached at the hip do not want to be separated. Shivanath and Shivram Sahu are conjoined twins from India who are attached at the waist. The twins share 2 legs and 4 arms, but have separate hearts and brains, and despite sharing a body, they actually live a pretty normal life. They're able to shower, eat, and dress themselves, and they even found out a way to ride their bike to school together. However, life is about to get a lot more complicated for the twins, as doctors say they can't actually be separated. If they tried to, the weaker one, Shivanath, would most likely die. Shivram, the stronger one, would most likely retain both legs and live a normal life. But the twins say even if they could afford the surgery, they wouldn't do it, because any challenge they face in life, they want to face together.
This 14-year-old was being groomed by a man 30 years older than her. In the early 1990s in England, 16-year-old Kelly Ann Bates was living a normal life. She liked school, she was sporty, and she wanted to become a teacher. Kelly had even started working to save money for college, and it seemed like everything was going right for her. But no one knew what was happening behind closed doors. When Kelly was just 14 years old, she met a man named James Smith while she was babysitting. He was more than 30 years older than her, and he began grooming her. What she didn't know was that he had a history of extreme violence towards previous partners. By the time Kelly turned 16, James told her that they didn't need to hide their relationship anymore. Kelly told her parents about her boyfriend, and once her parents found out about his age, they were terrified. Not long after, Kelly moved in with James in Manchester, and that's when everything changed. She became withdrawn, and people started to notice marks on her, and whenever they would say something to her, she would always come up with excuses for them. Even her own mother tried to report these marks that were on her, but they told her that there was nothing that they could do. Over time, Kelly lost contact with everyone around her, and this is exactly what James wanted. In April of 1996, James walked into a police station and confessed to unaliving his girlfriend, but claimed that it was an accident. He claimed that the two were having an argument while she was in the bathtub and she accidentally drowned. But when police arrived to the scene, it was a completely different story. Blood was smeared all over the home and Kelly was left in an awful state. Kelly had suffered over 150 injuries and had been tortured for weeks until her death. James had starved her and tied her up to a radiator by her hair and beat her. Kelly was burned with an iron, strangled, and stabbed. Her hair was ripped out from her head and her eyes were taken out by James. And this all happened apparently 5 days before she died. In fact, both of the lead investigators and pathologists claimed that this was the most disturbing case they had ever seen. James was arrested, and during trial he tried to claim that he was the victim, but the evidence didn't support that. In 1997, James was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 20 years.
Like, James, we already knew that you were dumb, but to be this dumb is crazy. First of all, you're gonna claim that she drowned in the bathroom during an argument, which is literally impossible. How's she gonna drown while you're fighting with her? And let's say that was the case. Let me give you the benefit of the doubt, okay? Let's say that I'm the dumb one here, and you're correct. How the F did she lose her eyeballs? Did they also drown during the argument? James, I hope they bury you under the jail because you deserve it. Scoop her up when she's 13 and just remove her eyeballs. Like that's your way of getting romantic with the ladies? Because let me tell you something, it doesn't work like this. James, pathetic.
Something weird has happened in San Francisco, and I feel like they're not even trying to hide it from us at this point. Basically, this plane is coming into land at the SFO San Francisco airport. Now, this plane is seemingly just stuck in the sky, okay? I zoomed in here. Look at all the cars. The cars are moving on the bridge. This is this giant bridge outside of San Francisco. This is a passenger in the plane is taking this video of the other plane that, look at this plane. Literally, it is just stuck in the sky and it is not moving. Now, people say there's like a parallax or parallel, some effect where it's like if it's moving, it doesn't look like, this plane is not moving. This plane is legitimately just stuck in the sky. It's not an edited video. This came from the news footage of this particular video that someone took coming in. Now, I don't know what has happened to this plane that literally is frozen in the sky, but it seems to have...
I love being a woman.
The first thing I thought of was Frozen Ground. So this is not the important part because Frozen Ground is a movie with Vanessa Hudgens, but it's based off of a true story. And the story follows this guy, Robert Hansen from Alaska. He is horrific. Serial unaliver, and he would typically go after S-workers. He would abduct them in his car, fly them on his little private plane, release them in the woods, and then hunt them for sport. And he got away with that for a long time until he abducted this woman, Cindy Paulson. So while he's basically loading the cockpit of the plane, she's in his car and she realizes he left the door unlocked. So this is her window to get away, right? So she's going to make a run for it, but before she does, she has the foresight to leave evidence in the car. She kicks off both of her heels, leaves them in the back seat, and then takes off on foot. And it's a good thing because police didn't even believe her when she told them what happened. She is responsible for putting him behind bars, and she probably saved countless other women.
This might be the craziest thing I've seen in a while. This beluga whale is out here playing with a marine biologist. He's out here with his camera. These things are rare, so he's just like taking video of it, taking pictures with it. It looks super happy. I like happy things. But all of a sudden, you're gonna see this guy is gonna get a little bit too close. He's gonna get a little bit too close to the whale right here. Boom. That's not him in the water, fortunately. That's his phone that is now falling down in the water, and this whale is smarter than like a cat or something. I don't know, but you see this whale right here? He's playing with the phone. He's just like tossing it around, swirling it around. He thinks it's a toy, like a little dog treat or something. But this thing goes all the way to the bottom of the water, and I could not believe that this whale was so smart. He was able to pick up this phone off of the bottom of this little ocean area. You see it's in his mouth right here. He picked it up off the bottom of this ocean area, and he's now bringing it to the top where he's going to give it back to the person who just lost it off the water. How is this possible? He literally just played Go Fetch with the phone.
No, I'm not gonna act like I'm a fish expert, but the dude at the bottom of the screen is very cringe to me, like very cringe. Calling this a whale is the dumbest thing I ever heard. It's obviously a salmon. You don't need to be a scientist to know this. It's definitely a salmon. You can judge me all you want. I mean, that's what I choose to perceive it as, you know? And I'm very proud of what I just said, because I was trying to think. I mean, I don't know what they call like fish experts, but I'm one of them, definitely.
The smallest country on Earth. Sealand is a tiny platform in the sea that claims to be its own country. Vatican City is the smallest officially recognized country in the world. Monaco is a tiny rich nation famous for luxury and casinos. Nauru is one of the smallest island countries on Earth. San Marino is one of the world's oldest republics, surrounded by Italy. Liechtenstein is a small mountain country between Switzerland and Austria. The Maldives is made of many small islands and is known for clear blue water. Tuvalu is a tiny Pacific island nation threatened by rising sea levels.
Here's everything you missed in pop culture this past week. The Devil Wears Prada 2 world premiere took place in New York City at Lincoln Center, where Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Stanley Tucci, and Emily Blunt walked the carpet and reunited after 20 years. Lady Gaga was also in attendance at the premiere, with the director of the movie confirming that she does in fact appear in the film. Lady Gaga also had a viral moment at the premiere where a photographer was seen falling when she walks out, and she attempts to help him and then poses for an over-the-shoulder picture for him. It was also reported that Sydney Sweeney's cameo in the movie has been cut, but we aren't sure why yet. A scary incident happened at the home of Dylan Sprouse and his wife Barbara Palvin when a trespasser attempted to burglarize their home, but not before Dylan Sprouse held the trespasser at gunpoint before tackling him, pinning him down until police arrived at the couple's Hollywood Hills home. Barbara Palvin, who was home at the time, called 911 reporting the attempted burglary, with the suspect being arrested on existing warrants. Dylan Sprouse said, "Let me protect this house." Kylie Jenner is being sued by a former housekeeper who alleges that Kylie and other staff members discriminated against her based on religion and national origin. The woman suing, who says she is Salvadorian and Catholic, claims that she was mocked and intimidated by staff members, including comments about deportation. Before I continue, if you like these pop culture recaps, make sure to follow me to stay up to date. What is the drama between Louis Tomlinson and Zayn Malik? Well, a lot of people noticed that Louis unfollowed Zayn on social media after it was reported that Zayn allegedly punched Louis during the filming of their Netflix road trip series and left him with a concussion. The director of the road trip series, Nicola B. Marsh, seemingly confirmed the project's cancellation when she posted an article about the punching, stating, and I quote, "And there goes the last year of work." I am so curious what happened. After an excruciating amount of time wondering what happened to Celeste Rivas, singer David has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of the 14-year-old. Prosecutors say that David committed the crime against Celeste to protect his music career because she threatened to expose him for engaging in certain activities with a 14-year-old, aka herself. David allegedly committed the crime just 2 days before dropping his debut album. Thank God they got him. Ice Spice was involved in a physical altercation with a woman at McDonald's after the woman slapped her. In the video, video that was released by TMZ, you can see the girl run over to Ice Spice, who's sitting down at the booth, and they share a bit of an exchange when the girl then gets in her face and slaps her, which Ice Spice stands up to fight back. An attorney for Ice Spice told TMZ that they will be pressing charges against the attacker, saying, and I quote, "The unprovoked attack on my client has been reported to the LAPD, and we will be pursuing any and all avenues to hold the perpetrators responsible for their actions, including criminally and civilly. We are also holding the location responsible for their lack of appropriate security." Girl, it is a McDonald's. After delivering incredible back-to-back headlining Coachella performances and teasing a potential tour, Karol G has officially announced that she'll be going on the Viajando por el Mundo Trapitor World Tour, set to kick off this summer. And I will be in attendance. And lastly, in other tour news, Meghan Trainor has canceled her Get In Girl tour, which was due to kick off in June. Meghan released a statement saying, and I quote, "Balancing the release of a new album, preparing for a nationwide tour, and welcoming our new baby girl to our growing family of 5 has been just more than I can take on right now. And I need to be home and present for each and all of them at this time."
Okay, so a lot of y'all may not believe me, but they actually wanted me to play the role that Anne Hathaway is currently playing in this movie. They wanted me to audition, but it turns out I'm too handsome to play the role of the princess, obviously. But yeah, and I don't regret it, like I don't like none of these people, Yes, I'm a narcissist. Thank you.
All Muslims, stop singing this new Say Wallahi Bro trend. This trend is haram. Stay away from this haram trend. How have you turned the word Wallahi into a song? Wallahi, fear Allah. And there's so many Muslims sharing this song everywhere. You can't swear and straight away say Wallahi. Come on guys, this is unacceptable. Share this everywhere and spread awareness now.
Allah.
Anyways, your episode is now finally over. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, everybody.